Welcome to The One Thing, where
It's
each
Edge Radio's-
episode features our signature segment, Pandora's Box. We dive into hot topics that challenge the norm and ignite real conversation.
Inspired by Greek mythology, Pandora's Box isn't just about chaos. It's about truth, transformation and hope. That's what we bring to every conversation.
Have a cause or business that deserves to be seen? Want to be remembered forevermore? Be our next special guest. Contact us today at theonething@edgeradioaustralia.com. Welcome to The One Thing here on Edge Radio Australia. It is very exciting today. Exciting, but with a bit of trepidation, okay? A little bit
of nostalgia too,
a
really.
lot of nostalgia. I'm going to say that. First, before I do any introductions or any of the formalities, we missed Lisa. Lisa is missing. Come on. Lisa, she's got the lurgy. All right, now.
We're not going to say the word.
No. Now, if this was 5 years ago, they may have had a shot down the local chemist. I'm not sure what was going on there. But no, just a good old-fashioned flu. I love to see Iddy in the background as well. Hello to Iddy.
Hi, Iddy.
Who is doing some wonderful work for us in the old production side of things. But we have a special guest. Would you like to do the honours here? The lovely Leanne.
And you know what? I would absolutely love to do the honours because this very lovely special lady sitting next to me here is my very good friend, Shelley Tucker. Shelley and I have known each other for 3 years nearly.
Okay.
And a little bit about Shelley. She's a mum of 3 and now a grandma of 1. She has 3 beautiful children. She loves connecting with people of all ages. I'm going to read it from here. She loves connecting with people of all ages. She loves doing wellness practices. She's a dedicated child educator with a strong commitment to holistic health. She actually works from my premises, Panacea Healing, just plugging it in there.
Plug away.
In Les Murdy. She is a beautiful Reiki healer and also does some aroma touch therapy. She is a beautiful person, and I'm going to introduce her, and then I'm going to come back to what she has to share with us today because it's still really, really raw. And it's something I only found out about a couple of months ago, and she never shared it with me. So welcome to the couch, Shelley.
Thank you, Leanne. Thank you for having me.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Aaron, for having this beautiful platform for a voice for us all. So thank you.
It is absolutely our pleasure. I'm really looking forward to hearing your story because I don't know. I'm in the dark on this one as well.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are going to resonate with you.
Well, it was like buried, and then just quickly on that note, I go to the aged care home where Leanne's mum lives at the moment.
Yeah.
And Leanne said, you can't go today because there's a COVID outbreak. Well, I just was like, you're kidding me. And I just, it brought up all these feelings that I was like, it was just awful feelings. And I just said, I can't believe it, Leanne. I said, after what I've gone through, I can't believe it. Anyway.
And so then she said, so it was a conversation we had, and I said, what is it? Why every time we mention it, why is there this trepidation? Well, Shelley proceeded to tell me that I met Shelley in September 2022. In May 2022, she was locked up.
And probably it's where you belong. We
all belong there, Aaron.
But in this case, maybe it was a little unfair. And for those people who are going, oh, look, this was years ago, get over it. No, okay? And I'll tell you why. It's not a case of getting over it. People need to be held accountable, okay? These things changed our lives in a lot of ways for a very negative way. You've gone through an experience here that was extremely negative, and the people who have caused this, these stories need to be heard, and those who, as I say, made this happen need to be held accountable.
And they need to be reheard because this could happen again, and we need to actually know how to prepare ourselves. So, Shelley, just tell us a little bit about April 2022 and the lead up to this.
Yeah, so my stepfather was poorly, so I needed to go home to see him because he wasn't well. So obviously I wanted to get out of the country to go to a flight to the UK because I'm from the UK. So
never picked that. Really?
No, you wouldn't know. So whereabouts in the UK are you from?
Hartlepool.
Hartlepool. So she's not Scottish, she's not Irish, she's from Hartlepool.
North of England.
Yeah.
So I go to the travel agents and they say, you can't go because I haven't got 3 vaccinations.
Yep.
And I was thinking, oh dear. So they give me the Home Affairs website. So I had to fill all these forms in and this and that. Anyway, took a while for all of the ticks to come back. So I missed my stepdad's passing by a day, but I was there for the funeral, but that was okay. So going there was absolutely fine. Finally, everyone, I landed in Manchester. Everything was beautiful. No masks in sight. Everyone had got on with their lives, and it was beautiful.
So there was nothing in sight to do with anything.
Nothing at all.
COVID related.
It was beautiful, and I was like, beautiful getting off the airplane, and I was like, oh, this is exciting. Back to normal, and that was that. And was awful because it was a funeral and things like that. But when I came back, goes to Manchester Airport and they said, oh, yeah, you're not vaccinated 'cause it's all digital.
Sure.
Sadly, there's nothing we can do about that. But so I had to then go to a booth to do a negative test before I flew. So they had like a pop-up booth just to the side. So to give me a quick test and it was negative, and they give me a certificate, so I put it in my bag for when I come back to Perth.
Okay.
Would they have given you that certificate if you hadn't asked for it?
It was going to be digital, but I said I want to have it in my hand,
paper copy,
because it was easier
important,
and things like that.
I think people need to know that as well, because sometimes we need to have something physical because everything can be lost, right?
Yeah,
of course,
in a system.
Yeah.
If they want
it to disappear,
they will have it lost. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. So
but
I think
it's totally fine. No, no sniffle, cough, whatever.
And you were traveling. You weren't traveling alone, Shelley.
Yeah. So I had my 2 children, 15 at the time and 7. So it's 3 years ago now. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't know how it was going to affect me until I was talking about it, and I got a few tears when I was mentioned to Leanne. So I thought, oh, what's going on here? Anyway, so they didn't have to have the testing. Okay. It was just me for some reason. So anyway, gets on the airplane, comes to Perth. There was 2 border control guys, and they made me stand aside, and they said, you can't go home.
Look down the old barrel of the camera here and tell, look, just you need to really say this and be very clear about this. You're being treated like a criminal, right? You can't go home, right? Why? Because you made a decision about your own health.
Yeah.
Right? Because you actually, you chose your free speech. You chose to have, autonomy over your own body. Yeah. And for that, you're a criminal, basically.
Yeah. I've always looked after me health, right? And when this COVID thing lost my job and all that, everyone was just awful, wasn't it? Yeah. And just moved on. I didn't want to know about these things and it was just awful. And then it was like, I felt like I was in a, what do you call, like a prank?
Yeah.
Felt like someone's going to surprise, but they wouldn't let me home. But I had my 2 kids with me as well.
So what happened to your 2 children? Because I know that you had separated from your husband.
Yeah. So the dad hadn't seen the children for 4 weeks. So he came to obviously see how they are and everything. And they were going to go home with me. But obviously they couldn't go home with me because it made me go into a hotel. Mm-hmm. So,
but why aren't they in the hotel?
Well, this is the thing. So my son, he was 15 at the time, but he worked in a restaurant. So he got 1 vaccination.
Gotcha.
Because he thought he had to, and his dad took him to the doctor and all this. Yep. Anyway, so he had 1. So he had the certificate on his phone.
Okay.
So they let him go home. But if he hadn't have had that certificate, he'd have had to come in the hotel with me.
Right. Okay.
But my daughter was only 7, so she was allowed to go home. But because he had the certificates...
Doesn't matter if you're 7 or 70.
I know.
No. Look, I want to stop this, right? You're making big mistakes here. If you remember rightly, and this was the health advice, okay, from the experts. Now, remember, you were safe when you were sitting down, very dangerous to stand up, okay? You were very susceptible to sickness if you're just standing there. But if you had a drink in your hand, you were safe. If you had a fork in your hand, you're also safe.
It was
what an absolute load of rubbish. So a 7-year-old, right, and we do know, obviously, look, children were far safer and all of that sort of thing. But if we're talking about, and back in those days, the governments were very focused on transmission, right? Okay, no offense to your daughter.
But this is in 2022. May 2022, she's come back.
But you were coming back to Perthistan.
There's no masks in sight here either.
But, pardon?
There was no masks in Perth either.
No, I know.
At the time.
She was probably one of the last lockdown.
Okay.
The last lockdown, I would say.
You just can't justify this. Look, when this first happened, okay, when we got all the mass media and the absolute lies from the corporate media about what was going on, fear, for the first few days, and you know what, even for the first month, I completely understand why people would be concerned.
Yeah.
Right? We've all watched zombie movies. Yes, all that.
Zombies.
Yeah, exactly. These are very dangerous things.
Yeah, they are. They're not COVID zombies.
No.
So.
But what I'm getting at is we've been conditioned to think about these, these outbreaks. Have been movies about what kind of carry, right?
And there was genuine fear, and I would say across pretty much everyone in the first few weeks.
But we're talking 2.5 years down the road.
Exactly.
2.5 years down the road. And where she's coming from, Manchester, where there's absolutely nothing.
And if I didn't have to go back for a funeral, I wouldn't have been in this position, but obviously. But I do feel for people who were in the thick of it at the beginning.
Sure.
I feel for them, but at the end of the time, I was just like, there was no sense in any of it.
No, there wasn't.
So you came back, but just because I remember you saying something to me about you had a choice to go somewhere or the hotel.
Oh, yes. They said the Watchtower.
The Watchtower.
Or the Watch House or something, I remember.
House?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
the woman who never had a badge, no name.
She was the official for getting us into the hotel. So she was the quarantine official.
Officer.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah. So I said to her, I don't want to go in the hotel. I want to go home with my children. She said, so she actually said that I could have a hotel to home pass the next day.
Okay.
So I said, oh, brilliant. That'll do for me.
So she'd have to stay in the hotel one night.
That's acceptable.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So I thought, oh, well, okay, that'll do. And I said, I'm not paying for this privilege because I don't want to pay for something I'm not agreeing in at all. And she said, I've got to fill in.
I thought you said you weren't Scottish.
But I had to fill forms in.
I'm teasing you.
But I was going to get the forms later.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, so I wasn't going to pay, and I never signed any forms at all. And I just went along with it, silly me. But it was either that or I was going to go in the Watchtower.
In the Watch House.
That's what she said.
Watch House on the floor, on the ground,
she said,
on a mattress on the ground.
She wasn't.
That's what they offered you. So hang on, the accommodations. Okay, so you're a normal human being. What are you going to choose? Oh, a hotel room or laying on the floor, right?
Yeah.
Come off it, right? And I think that's even a little bit of coercion.
It
to
was,
be honest, right?
Yeah, it sounds like coercion. Yeah,
so
definitely.
Just thank you, Lisa, for your great comments coming through, and everybody who's coming through as well. Actually, from several Lisas. Hello, Lisas. Yeah, but what the heck is the Watchtower? Now, I know Jimi Hendrix was fond of them, but that's about it.
I didn't know anything about it myself until I came out and started asking questions, and someone said it's like a custody thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd have been in custody.
Yeah.
Oh, but okay. Sorry, I will interrupt.
Yeah.
Right, it's the
she would have been in the jail
It's the Watch House, right?
That's it, the Watch House.
I've been there.
Oh,
okay?
right.
I have been a guest of the Watch House, okay? Yes, a terrible criminal that I am, right? Okay. And I will tell you the experience that you would have had. I can now actually share with you.
Okay.
Right. Guess what you would have had to have done. So, right, it's basically the Watch House is all these cells, okay? It's all concrete. Okay, most of them don't have any windows whatsoever. They have the fluorescent lights on 24 hours a day, and no ventilation of any outside source, and no windows. Right?
Wow.
Okay. Basically, I was there because someone made false allegations against me. I wonder who that could be. That were later found to be false evidence. Right?
Oh.
So I spent a couple of days there. It was an incredibly horrible experience, and I'd done absolutely nothing wrong. So I just want to lay that out, and there's evidence of that. But this is what you would have had to go through. It is demoralizing. So, okay, I'm going to run you through the entire experience. Okay, sorry, and I don't want to make this about me.
do it.
I want
Because we've
you,
got time to
yeah, I
do it.
want you to know
let's
what a watch house is all about. So I had to go first. I'm dumped in there. Okay, the first thing that they do is they strip you naked, right?
Oh,
okay?
wow.
And then they make you spread your cheeks so they can inspect to make sure you're not carrying anything in there. Okay. If you're a man, you have to lift your gear so they can inspect under your gear.
Oh my God!
Yeah, hang on. This is what happens. So anybody who's gone through this experience, right?
Wow.
So this is your two options. So you go through that. Now they give you clothes. Now because some of the coppers knew that I was there under false pretenses, right? So they were nice to me, and they gave me. I got the dream cell.
Did you get the royal treatment?
I got the special cell because they told me straight out, right? They go, look, we understand, Aaron, so we're going to give you the cell with the window, right? Now, the window is about, I don't know, look, it's about 12 foot in the air, but it's up there. but you can actually, the only difference is you can tell, here's the difference, you can tell if it's day or night, right? So that's the thing, right? So it doesn't screw with your mind so much of the fluorescent lighting. It's because it's psychological warfare, right? Okay. And you go in there. It is cold concrete, right? You are allowed to ask for whether you get one or you don't. You can ask for a yoga mat to lay on.
That's what she said, wasn't it?
A yoga mat on the cold concrete, and there is a stainless steel toilet in the corner, toilet and sink all in one unit, where you go and use that in front of everybody who's walking past, right?
Watch
right.
house.
This is what it is, right? So. It is a demoralising, dehumanising experience,
that's bloody
right?
awful. Thank God you chose the hotel.
Thank God you chose the hotel. So I'm so glad. I'm sorry to talk
but
about that.
I didn't know what one was because if I hadn't have the children, I'd have said no. I'll go because
thankfully
I was
you didn't.
so annoyed with the hotel.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I want to go home.
Well, I want the bloody hotel.
You know what I mean? Like it was just like crazy, and
So from there, you said they said to you, "You're going." What happened to the kids?
So the dad took them. So obviously they just come home from this holiday. Well, this 4-week trip. So I had to give the kids' dad my key to the house for them to go home to sleep and things like that.
So someone that you were separated from for how long had you been separated?
2 years.
You had to give and rightly so. It's their dad, but yet you gave him the keys so that they could go to their home.
Yeah.
And stay in their home.
Yeah.
And you had to get,
Sorry to
That's a little
interrupt.
bit of personal.
Yeah, it really is. Just to give a clarification, so we've got questions coming in and appreciate this from Karen. Karen asked about the watch house. Is it male only? No, it is not. Okay, it is there was men and women in the watch house.
Yeah, wow.
So there you go. So, this is just, especially if you knew, thankfully, I suppose you didn't. But okay, let's look at this. They're ripping you apart from your children.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was awful. Yeah.
Yep. So they are, quite frankly, it's emotional.
We were
blackmail.
tired, Yeah. We did not have any idea this was going to happen.
Of course you didn't. Couldn't.
It was,
you couldn't
we'd moved on.
plan for this.
Everyone had moved on. I was like, what?
You were something like the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, I really thought I was going to get pranked.
Yeah.
So it was that silly at the time because everyone had moved on. Everyone had moved on.
So from there you went to. So they obviously then you had to go to
the hotel
with your suitcase.
Yes. So I got my suitcase and they rang me a COVID taxi.
A COVID taxi.
A COVID taxi, it was called, and it was like a big
COVID taxi.
I know. It's all right.
Have you been in a COVID taxi?
I've never been in a COVID taxi. Okay, I've missed out on
What's
that.
a COVID taxi?
Yeah, what's different about that?
It was just like the maxi taxis.
Right. It's just got extra hand sanitizer.
Yeah, and I thought, okay, this is.
And it's got the screen in between.
It's got the bars. The like cage bar thing at the front.
Of course.
And then you're at the back. Yeah, I was in one of them.
Wow.
And I was escorted to the Murray Street Hotel, the Novotel in Murray Street.
In Mary Street?
Murray
Street.
That's my accent. Murray Street. Novotel in Murray Street.
Another one.
You never believe where I got there. The welcome I got there was so the reception, you got your mat. It wasn't the red carpet and there was three people outside with hazmat suits on.
No.
PPE equipment and masks.
6 people for you. Oof,
and I was like,
"You're a criminal."
And
you tested
are you kidding
negative.
me? And I just said, "Shame on you!" And I just was so angry, and I had to just go with it because what do I do?
Yeah, exactly.
So Brack just kept saying, I'm not paying for this experience. I don't want to be here. But like I say, my saving grace was I supposed to be going home the next day.
Yeah.
And then...
So they gave you the presidential suite?
I went, so they put me at the very top of the floor, the very, very, very top.
Nice.
Anyway, so I was escorted with a person with masks on and all this kind of stuff to the top of this hotel. And then I shut the door and I just sobbed because I was thinking,
that's emotional.
it was just, I was tired, you know.
Coming off a long flight.
Yes. And it was like the kids were crying. It was just not good.
No.
It was not good. So
you've been ripped away from them, basically.
Yeah. And I was totally healthy.
Yeah.
I never had a sniffle or a cough the whole of the nonsense anyway. No, totally fine.
No, look,
and it was just unbelievable.
Nonsense is such a great word because, okay, I often think this to myself. If they hadn't talked about it on every bit of media, if it hadn't been all over TV, all over radio, all that kind of thing, would you have even known? You really wouldn't, would you? Right? Without the propaganda, you wouldn't even know.
No. It was too much, yeah.
And so what, they then shut the door on you or what was it?
Well, the door was shut and it was...
Did they give you something to eat?
So they actually give me something as I was going up the stairs and it was a box of, I think it was bread in there.
Okay.
With jam on or something, if I remember rightly. And it was just a plastic box.
That's healthy.
And they give me that and I just threw it back at them. I'm like, I couldn't eat it anyway. But I remember seeing it was a plastic thing and that, anyway. So I didn't eat it and I give it back because I was ready for bed anyway. So thank you, but no thank you. So I did get, they were giving us food.
Okay.
So they weren't nasty.
And then, so you got in there, you were sobbing, you were, I can imagine that would just been.
I just wanted to go to sleep and I was just thinking, what? And I was texting all my friends like, what the because oh my goodness, it was just like, what? Everyone was, even all my friends who, we all had different points of view, but no one was, everyone let me be who I wanted to be. Yeah. It was my choice.
They're good friends, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. But they were all, you kidding me? Like, what the? So that was that. But the next morning, I was dead excited to ring this reception to see if I can get home. Then they didn't know anything about it because this lady had said she'd tell them on reception what was going on. And the reception staff didn't have a clue. So then I thought, right, well, I'll have to ring border control myself. Well, trying to get through to the airport, I must have been on the phone for hours.
Well, I'm just looking at the messages that come up on the screen here, and I might add that you've had plenty of time. So I don't know why you're complaining. They didn't give you a TV that worked, so you didn't have any entertainment. Why not get on your phone, and why not actually communicate with border control and that kind of thing? This just blows my mind. And to think that this is a first world country. This is disgusting that our government and the government that people voted for again, like, what's wrong with you? Honestly, like, do you like socialism? Like, socialism is just the Diet Coke of communism, right? Okay, it's the entry drug to communism, and people are just so naive and they keep voting for these idiots. Anyway, enough of that. Quick little break. Back in a second. Dead Radio
Is pain holding you back? Bowen therapy with Panacea Healing can change that for you. It's never too late to recharge your health, career, or purpose. You have the power within yourself to change what no longer serves you, taking your life and health to another level. panaceahealing.com.au. You can do anything.
Oh, you are watching, listening to, absorbing the one thing here at Edge Radio Australia. We have the lovely Shelley with, of course, with us, but next to me, my wonderful co-host, Leanne. Loving having you here. It is always good.
It's great.
The wonderful Lisa is at home, not feeling well, and we miss you very much.
Oh, hi, Lisa.
Yes, Lisa, I know you're there. It's just not the same without you, but we've actually made a little, you can't see it's off camera.
I know, it feels a bit
We've got a little
bare.
monument over there for you. It's beautiful. It's very nice. Let's just, look, I want to make light of it a little bit because, quite frankly, this is so intense, right? Like, you've been treated like complete filth. And as I say, as an Australian citizen, you don't have there is no one has the right to treat you this way.
No.
And the fact that our government have done this, and the fact that they have yet to apologise and will never apologise, how they have basically had no accountability whatsoever, this makes me very, very angry.
Right.
So let's continue your story.
Yeah. So this lady who said I could go from hotel to home the next day, she disappeared. No one would find her. And I kept saying she was the quarantine lady because she didn't have a badge on. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Sure.
You know, I just knew, I thought she'd go by her word and she'd say it was just so sad that she didn't do that. So that was it. I was there. And by that time I'd met some people from Stand in the Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I texted one of my friends there and I said, this is what's happening. She said, oh, that's not on. Like one of my good friends said, we'll get you out. We'll all come in, like, you know,
We'll break you out.
a big few of us, like, to make that bit of an effort. Big presence outside and things like that. And I thought, oh yeah, brilliant, we'll do that. And I wasn't frightened. I thought, yeah, let's do it. So the Friday night, I was already because it was nighttime, because that's when everyone could come because of being to work and whatnot. Sure. And I honestly thought I could walk out of there. I really did. I only, hand on heart, thought I could walk out. So I had my case and opened the door and I'm like, I'm going, thank you.
Yep.
You know, so I'm at the top of the floor, press the button, it wouldn't open. They had some control.
Yes, they did.
So I said, oh no, I'm still going. So there was a stairwell and there was 2 security guards outside. He says, no, you're not getting down these stairs. So I couldn't go down the stairs. And I was like, you're kidding me. I says, really?
You're a prisoner.
So I had to stay. So all my friends were at reception, but then I think they caused a bit of commotion, so the police came.
Well, the police like to show up for anything. You know, let's face it. Like, there's only 2 occasions where police will show up, right? Well, actually, there's 3. You know, I mean, if a father's talking to his child, they'll show up for that. Anything to do with COVID, or if there's 15 minutes left of the McDonald's breakfast menu, that's about the only time that the police will actually show up.
I don't know what was going on with the conversation with the police, but my friend Corinne and there's a few people were telling me that they were like light-hearted. The police were light-hearted. Okay. They were listening, but they felt like they couldn't do anything with the power that they should have had. Sure. They were listening, but never said anything. Okay. Apparently, so it was all nice, but it wasn't. Nothing was.
I think
resolved.
There's a lot of them that were like that.
There was nothing resolved.
They just did what they had to do.
They just had to do what they were doing. Yeah.
So then you couldn't get out.
Couldn't get out.
You had to stay there.
I just had to stay there.
So you've got no TV, okay?
Because the TV's broken, right?
The TV was broken in the hotel.
I hope you've got a bloody good charger for your phone.
I had my phone, and you know what? I had a beautiful friend who I met through this Stand in the Park.
Sure.
And she came with all these beautiful books and some amazing food. Okay. So I was okay.
Because the food they were giving you, what was that?
So the next morning when I woke up, I got my dinner outside the door.
Okay.
And I realised that there's 2 people outside my door, like two, not just 1, 2.
Because you're huge and you've got lots of big muscles.
And I opened the door
and you're going to escape
to get me lunch, me breakfast, and I think that was an omelette, if I remember rightly, and it had no knives or forks in there. So I then ring reception, go, there's no knives or forks, and that was cold by the time. Of
course.
Whatever. So it was awful. So that day I didn't really eat anything, but the Friday night my friend brought all these amazing bits and bobs because the food was awful and it was all left outside your door.
But they let you get the food in, so you could order Uber Eats for you.
No. This was a lady, one of the girls who came on the Friday night.
Sure.
She brought like a bag of things. No, that wasn't that night. It was next day. She gave me.
But they allowed that to come in.
She had to give it to reception. They couldn't come in or anything.
But they were allowed to.
I got it.
Yeah, but what if someone had coughed near that food? I mean, come on.
I know.
What if they'd put something in it?
Yes, exactly.
And you had died in there.
It was just hilarious.
Maybe you could escape using the wooden fork, just carve yourself out there.
It was hilarious. It was just so funny. So anyway, that was that. So that was the Friday. This is hilarious. So the Saturday I realised, how did I know this? That was voting day, but I can't remember how I knew about it.
Probably online.
I can't remember. It might have been. There was something. Was someone mentioned it? I can't remember, but there was voting day, and I know that you've got rights when you vote. So I rings the AEP woman, and I just said, "Look, I'm in hotel quarantine. I need to vote." And she goes, "Oh, I'll get back to you." So they did get back to me and say, you can, but you have to have a negative test. So there was a wellness centre on reception that were looking after you while you were there, like a wellness team. So I rang them and I said, look, I would like to vote, but I would need a negative test. They says, oh, we'll get the doctor to give you a test, because they had a doctor, a nurse, and like a wellness team.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I then got, I think it was a Saturday morning, about 10 o'clock, the doctor rang me and said, yes, I can give you a test. So it was left outside my door. So I opened the door, did my test, give it back, and it was negative. He goes, yes, you can come out to vote at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock. So luckily the hotel's here and there's a hall. It was a voting hall just there, so it was within walking distance. Okay. So I had the security guards watching me go. But the silly thing is, Aaron, I was allowed to go out.
I know.
Why couldn't I just go home?
So again, this is 2.5 years after the outbreak. 2.5 years after the outbreak. You're allowed there. You're allowed to be part of the general pop. You've just proven to them that by their standards that you've got a negative result. Yeah. Like, this is just ridiculous. And let's circle back a little bit here. You're being kept from your children.
I know.
And you have your ex-husband in your home looking after your children.
Now, I also want to jump to, I'm really appreciating so many people are making comments. The best place, if you want to watch this and make comments as we go, the best place is YouTube. These days, obviously, there's a lot of censorship across the board. Facebook's really full on about that kind of thing. And a lot of times they won't actually let the messages get through. And the other thing with Facebook, this show will only last 30 days until they remove it. So if you go to YouTube, like, share, subscribe, do all the things that we'd really appreciate that. But the other thing too is it makes it interactive. It makes sure that we can see your comments. Because there's a thing on the screen now telling me that there are a lot of comments that I can't actually see. So I'd really appreciate it. If you do want to add to the conversation, we'd really love that. Get onto YouTube.
I can't see from here.
Oh, there you go. Do the other subscribe.
But anyway,
sorry, keep going.
So that was, I forgot where I'm at now.
You went to
just
vote.
Voted.
You went to vote.
Yeah, I voted. So it was a sunny day. Woman. It was a beautiful sunny day. So I was like, and I felt like getting on a bus home. But the only reason I didn't is because the children, the police had knocked at my door. Of course. And I didn't want to, but it was just ridiculous. So I took a while and I'm like, I'll just sit here for a bit longer. So I walked back down and went back to my room. But that was on the Saturday and I was like, this is just crazy. So I had some beautiful books and I just read books and I thought, I'll just chill out.
Did you get to speak to the kids on the phone?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
My daughter was sobbing a little bit because obviously she even thought it was crazy and she's only 7 at the time.
On that, okay. Thank you, Helen, for your question here. My question is, why couldn't Shelley go home and quarantine with her 2 children?
Why couldn't I? I don't know.
I'm sure you asked. Did you just?
Oh yeah. They just, because it was the rules.
Oh, the rule, and we don't want to.
Was the rules?
No,
was the rules?
It was the rules.
What does Lisa say there, Lisa Lawler? Imagine if you had dietary.
That was from earlier. Now about the dietary point, which is very, very interesting. About the fact if you did have.
Imagine if you had dietary issues, e.g., a nut allergy, celiacs. Did they even know? Was there a duty of care? Did they even ask you?
Nobody asked me where I was getting. I had no menu or nothing. It was just whatever was given to me outside the door. And I said to them, I was ringing them every day. I was being a pest because I was so angry. Mm-hmm. And I just kept saying to them, I don't like the food. I can't eat it. It was like slosh.
Right.
I said, prisoners get treated better than this.
They do. That's a fact.
It was all mushy in a
Could you open the window? Could you get fresh air?
No, that was the other thing, and I couldn't even. It was at the top of the floor. There was no fresh air, and the windows didn't open.
Okay. Well, that's good though. Again, let's look at the positives. If someone has got COVID, they're recycling that air for you, so make sure everybody gets it. What a great idea! What a joke!
So Shelley, how did I can't imagine what it would be like having to be stuck in this room on your own. You've got the only thing to the outside world is your phone, right? So luckily you had your phone that you could have some sort of connection with your children, with your family, with your friends. How long were you in there?
So I went in there at
Thursday night,
8:30 on the Thursday night, and they let me out 8:30 the Thursday after.
So a week.
The whole week, yeah. Week. But I've just remembered on the Friday when my friends couldn't get me out, I opened the door and obviously let James in or out or whatever. So I was going to bed at 10 o'clock on the night, or roundabout. The police knocked at the door.
Oh, nice.
Saying, they said, "What are you doing? You can't get out." And I says, I just wanted to get out. I said, "This is ridiculous." Yeah. And again, they were just following orders. And he said, "If you do it again, you get $1,000 fine." So I was like, "All right, you've got me now. You've got me. I can't get out." Point,
okay, whenever I'm sorry, I'm going to bite in on this one. Okay, we're just following orders, and I know there were a lot of good people who just followed orders. Yeah, there also was in the late 30s in a little place called Germany. All right, okay, just following orders is not an excuse. As a human, you need to stand up in your integrity, and you need to stand up and protect those who are those who are vulnerable, right?
Well, isn't that what the police actually come to?
No, because it's not a police service. It's not a police service anymore. It's a police force.
Yeah.
That's a very important bit of language. Just like when they changed, I've talked about this before, they've changed the font now. It used to be in upper and lower case because they did psychological tests that makes them feel less threatening to people, right? So now it's all in capitals. It's very bold. It's all about joining the force, being part of the police force. No, I'm sorry. The greatest majority of West Australian police are just thugs in uniform, right? They are just thugs in uniform. I'm sick of it, and I'm not making excuses for them. Those who stood up, and there's some amazing people, Ben Falconer is obviously a great example. Many other fantastic men and women who stood up and said, "No, guess what? Our integrity is far more important than being part of this machine."
Yeah.
So when people say they're following orders, yes, so were the Gestapo.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I said, "Don't you think this is wrong?" And they kind of agreed, but they couldn't do anything. It was so sad. Yeah. And the fact that the doctor and the nurse on the reception, the wellness team, I think
it's a money rort.
It is a money rort.
They were raping it in with all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Seriously, they were bringing in all this douche into these people who, we're going to have a wellness clinic here and we're going to have a wellness clinic there. And, we're going to have, doesn't matter if you're, just a whatever, you can come in and be part of it.
There's another human side that a lot of people don't know about. Okay. So obviously hotels have weddings, okay, and conventions, sorts of things, right? So I happen to know for a fact that I know of, and I'll name because I think it's disgusting. The trade winds in Fremantle, yeah. Okay, they were basically fully booked, had a wedding there, all that kind of thing. They threw about with about a week or so notice, I'm told, right? That's secondhand information. They literally said, "I'm sorry, you can't have your wedding here because we're going to be a COVID hotel," and they literally just filled the entire place. So they threw everybody out, right?
Wow.
And throughout the events, that is all about money and nothing but money. And also, say if you go and stay at a hotel, you pay XYZ rate.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? The government
they would have been
charging.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So this was a lot about money
because people were infectious, and this was a deadly disease.
Yeah,
right?
But that's why the wellness centres, all that kind of rubbish. You're right. It is just money laundering 101.
Okay, so I know a little bit about your story, and I know we've only got like about 5, maybe a little bit longer, 7 minutes to go. You came back out on the Thursday.
Yep.
And then... So, Shelley, you lost your job during COVID as a...
I worked in the education system, the education department. I've been there for 8 years. And
as an EA?
They stood me down.
Okay.
So I didn't know whether I was going to go back or anything at this point.
Of course not.
So on the Friday when you were home,
So
the day after.
Yep. So it was the Thursday, the 20th. So voting day was the Saturday. And then I get out on the Thursday. On the Friday, me principal rang me to go and have a meeting on the Monday to get my job back.
Get your job back.
Look at the irony in that.
We had no idea. Is that going to ever happen? I didn't know whether I was going to ever got my job again.
Well,
so the week before, she is incarcerated in a hotel room.
She's the unclean.
And then the Monday after, she's going for
1st of June. 1st of June.
1st of June, she's going back to work with the children.
Well, I went for the interview. Like I went to see them, and then I started like a week or two later. But it never was back. It never was nice.
Did you ever think? I ask everybody this one, okay?
This is what I can't get over.
Okay, you know what? You've heard of all the dark ages, this age is the Renaissance, all these different things happen, okay? I never thought I would live through the dumb ages, okay? So we have. We have been led by fools through an absolute circus.
I think that's the most hardest thing to swallow is the fact that nobody listened to us or even thought, like I say, the police, the wellness centres, people thinking it was okay. It wasn't okay.
And you were talking to them every day saying, I want to go home.
I want to go home. I want to go home.
Because
I was pestering them and they said, well, why? I said, I've got a headache, which I did have one headache one day because of no fresh air. She goes, well, I'll get you some paracetamol. And then I had to pay for it as well. It wasn't even free. But I said, no, I don't take tablets, which I don't. So I just breathed through it and got through it with my books, and it was just a joke. And it was the longest 7 days.
Just want to clarify, you said books. With your books. Okay. Because it doesn't sound like books.
Oh, books.
I had some
novels.
Some nice, they kept me going, and me friends and me family on the phone.
Yeah, wow.
It was just this day and age. Do you know what I mean? It was so sad.
So you felt like someone was going to come out and go, ha, sorry.
It was just when I was met with those people with the hazmat, like PPE equipment, I was like, where's the cameras? Because it was that silly.
Yeah,
the whole thing was silly.
It is silly. And it's like, I mean, look, as silly as when you go buy your groceries and you stand on the other side of the perspex, right, while the person touches everything that you've put in your trolley that you've touched.
Hello.
We live in the dumb ages. We definitely do.
Absolutely.
So all this conversation came about, and this is why I invited Shelley on the show, is because Shelley goes and sees my mum once a week. Okay. And apparently the nursing home had a COVID outbreak. Okay. And it was getting shut down. And one of the on the last day, the 5 days is over. It's everything's going to be great. They had said they test everyone. They test everyone in that facility. And I think that's across the board, right? Okay. Well, my mum apparently had COVID.
Of course she did.
And they wanted to give her antivirals. And I said, no to antivirals. But your mum has COPD. And I said, mum also is really adverse to a lot of medications and she's not having them. Because we refused the flu vaccine and we refused the COVID vaccines because she had them back in the day. But, yes, we refuse them now. We have the option to. Sure. And, because I think that's what made her, go downhill. But interestingly enough, I get called up and get told that her temperature is at 39.5.
Really?
And this is the night after, and that her heart rate is elevated. And I said, okay, so what have you done? And they said, well, give him Panadol, but I need to bring the ambulance and she needs to go to hospital. I said, you've just given her Panadol. You need to bring the ambulance and she needs to go to hospital. I said, how about I come there and take her down? Don't forget, this is only 900 metres down the road from me. Anyway, I went there. He's in full hazmat. This old lady is sitting there, and I went in and just sat with Mum, and he walks in and he says, "Oh, Leanne, you're not wearing a mask," and I said, "Well, I'm not scared. it's just a little bit of a sickness."
Like I've said this before, I like masks. I'm actually pro-mask. Down the camera, I am pro-mask. It's wonderful. Now I can tell mental illness from about 50 metres away. It's brilliant. I know I don't have to talk to you. If you're wearing one, it's great. I love them. Yeah.
So that's how this came about. And the irony of that is these old people are sitting there trying to listen to someone that doesn't speak English as their natural language through a mask, through a hazmat suit, which is what you had 6 of them around you.
It was, and that's the thing. And they actually believed that they were doing the right thing.
Just remember,
they really believed it.
Do you remember? We all remember the movie E.T.
Oh, yes.
The hazmat suits and all the carry-on. Right, for that poor little alien, okay? You became that poor little alien.
I loved E.T. One of my favourite movies.
Go home.
The good news is you eventually got home.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. You know what? As much as your story is, it's yours, it's you own it.
Just quickly, I was going on about I'm not paying.
Yeah.
I didn't pay, but I kept getting bills from the debt collectors. And finally, I got through to somebody, said, no, I'm not paying. So finally, about 3 months later, got through to the health department, and they said that department's been disbanded. So where was my money going?
Oh, my gosh.
Well, that is
so I didn't end up paying. But if I had because I rang somebody in that department, they said, there's no way. It was disbanded, the department. So you're like, wow.
And that would give you
crazy.
that would go
going?
against your credit rating too.
Of course it would.
But there's definitely nothing on my credit file with that.
Oh, so thank God for that.
That's good, yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Brad didn't pay.
What an amazing story, Shelley. Oh my gosh.
Well, here's what I was going to say, and I don't want to diminish your story by any stretch of imagination.
No, but people just need to know that it's still, that's what happened.
Yeah. And I thank you for telling your story, because so many people went through this. So many people haven't got the opportunity to actually be heard and tell their story.
And that's what Leanne said. She said, no, people need to hear this. I said, no, it's old news now. But you know what? It's made me feel better.
Yeah.
And
it really has.
This is what people. This is what I'm saying. People are still holding on to this, and you don't need to. This is something that needs to be heard, and hopefully, with Shelley sharing her story, others who have gone through same or similar are able to also open up and let it go. Because I picked up that was something that was still really raw.
Sure.
And because she's now able to actually share it, talk about it, experience it and let it go, it's something that's positive now, because now she's able to continue on and go through
just
everything else.
Isn't it now?
It is laughable.
It's laughable.
Yeah.
And we're never going to be doing that again. I'm going to be coming with an axe to get her out of that hotel room.
No, they're booking in some. Don't get me wrong. Don't worry. They've booked some more pandemics. They're coming, apparently. If you watch what's going on in the old corporate media.
Oh, gosh. We'll be just diving down that rabbit hole again.
Do you know what? I want to throw this forward to everybody. If you're going through a hard time, there's a lot of fantastic, holistic sort of people you can go and talk to. A lot of great businesses out there who will specialise in this sort of thing. A couple right here, who would help you in that
Energy
regard.
Essence.
Yes,
absolutely.
yes.
Let's clear this right up. As we finish the show, I also want to just thank those in the background again. I really want to thank Lisa. I want to thank Eddie for all their hard work. And we're going to actually finish on a little movie about WABN, because there's some brilliant businesses on there, businesses that will look after you in these times. So if you're struggling, you want someone to talk to, you want some sort of holistic business, you want a business who thinks like you and is part of your community, this is the way to go. So thank you very much for being part of the one thing here at Edge Radio Australia.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Ever felt lost online finding the right businesses?
Absolutely, like a needle in a haystack.
Introducing the Worldwide Awake Business Directory.
Tell me more.
It's your hub for businesses sharing your values. Discover eco-friendly products, socially responsible services, and more.
Count me in. I'll check it out straight away.
Find businesses aligned with your values on the Worldwide Awake Business Directory. Start making a difference with every purchase.